The Battle of Gettysburg was a 3-day battle in the American Civil War, which was fought between the Union and the Confederate Army between July 1st and July 3rd, 1863. Following a major Confederate victory at the Battle of Chancellorsville, the Army of North Virginia, led by Robert E. Lee, crossed the Potomac River into the state of Maryland with the hopes of endangering Washington, D.C. and empowering the growing peace movement in the North. The North really didn't like that. And fair enough. The Union's Army of the Potomac, under Major General Hooker, came up against Lee. Their forces met at a small, out-of-the-way borough named Gettysburg. However, just 3 days before the battle, Lincoln removed Hooker, possibly because of his name. Maybe. Probably not, and had General Meade take his place. The fighting began on July 1st, with the Confederates initially breaking through Union positions north and west of the town, causing them to withdraw to higher ground where the defenses would harden into the famous fishhook shape. You know, I wonder if they did that on purpose. The second day of the Battle of Gettysburg, July 2nd, Lee ordered an all-out assault on the Union's left flank. The attack nearly succeeded thanks to a certain Union Major General Daniel Sickles, who led his men out from the line to get a better view for his artillery. This forced Meade to send more troops to the area and cost Sickles a cannonball to the leg, which, if I'm to be honest guys, doesn't sound like a good time. The Confederates continued to make progress against the Union, who had a precarious hold on the area, namely around the hill of Little Round Top. During this time, a Colonel Joshua Chamberlain of the 20th Maine, being on the extreme left flank of the Union Army at Little Round Top and under repeated assault by the Confederates, saw them coming at him once again and pretty much said, "You know what? Nah," and ordered a famous bayonet charge down the besieged hillside in a move that saved the Union's left flank from the edge of collapse, earning him the Medal of Honor, a place in the history books, as well as a place in my heart. July 3rd, the third day of the battle, witnessed the largest artillery bombardment of the war, with over 150 Confederate guns opening fire on the Union. Surprisingly, it didn't really do that much. Over 10,000 Confederate soldiers then marched against the Union in an attack remembered as Pickett's Charge, which proceeded to get absolutely bodied by Union infantry and artillery fire. The rebels were ultimately beaten back, and after a handful of cavalry engagements and a tense standoff, Lee was like, "Aren't you gonna chase me?" And Meade was like, "Nah, I'm good." You sure?" Yeah. And Lincoln, absolutely livid, was probably trying to not have angry flashbacks of a certain somebody. Though Meade eventually did pursue, most of Lee's army successfully retreated to Virginia. The Battle of Gettysburg, however, would prove to be the bloodiest battle in American history, with total casualties for both sides combined amounting to over 57,000. Later, Abraham Lincoln, having probably calmed down from Meade's, letting the man who was easily the biggest threat to the Union escape, came down to perform his famous Gettysburg Address, speaking to the final sacrifice of the dead and the continued struggle of the living for freedom.